Welcome, everybody. So we wanted to take this time to come to you and explain a little bit more how DCP is prioritizing family engagement. And so we know that it's been a hard year for many of us. If you haven't been on campus, you can feel a little disconnected or feel like there was a lot of information being sent. So I want to make sure that you know which ways we're using to keep you informed and which ways you have to communicate with our schools. So we're going to get started. My name is Mercedes Carvajal. I am your family engagement manager. I support our 4 schools. We do have 2 DCP high schools and 2 DCP middle schools. So in case you didn't know, our organization has 4 schools. And so welcome. Sorry, let me get to my. All right, so for today, we're going to be talking about, we're going to spend just a few minutes talking about our family engagement framework and why family engagement is important to us and in which ways we engage with families. And then we're going to go into each of those areas. We're going to talk about communication, parent voice, resources, our parent academy, and then we'll have some reminders of upcoming events, and then we'll open it up for questions. But again, feel free to utilize the chat as we go through this with your questions so you don't forget it, okay? All right. So many of you have been with DCP a couple of years already, or maybe some of you are new, but here at DCP, families are at the center of our mission. We believe that in order to support our students to get to college or to their higher education, it needs to be a partnership, right? And so we adopt that framework that families are partners in this journey. So we see that. How do you see that at DCP? For example, your student should have an advisor, right? Every student has an assigned advisor, which is one of our DCP teachers. That is your to-go person that, for example, if your student has 6 classroom teachers, sometimes it can be hard to know where to go if I need to talk to one of the teachers or I want to call a meeting with some of them. You would go directly to your advisor, to your student's advisor. And so you can begin building a relationship with your student's advisor where you partner up, right? And you have your parent-teacher conferences. We have those throughout the year. As well as throughout the different ways we'll explain at different groups. We partner up with you and keep you at the center as families. We also understand, and we've seen, and it's research-based, that your involvement, coming to these meetings, asking questions, being able to show up for your parent-teacher conference, things like that, all of those are your involvement. And research shows that when parents are involved, when you are informed, when you participate, when you ask questions, your students tend to perform higher. And so we understand that's not a simple equation, but we also want to know that we are here to encourage you to get involved. And we want you to get involved. And so we have created many different opportunities for all of our parents to find a way on how they would like to get involved. So we hope that today you get to see something that attracts you and you find a way to connect with us in our DCP community. We have, DCP has been around for 20 plus years. We were the first charter school in Santa Clara County. And it all started because families wanted a better option for their students. And so we are here because families are at the center of our mission. We also believe and adopt this, that because you are partners in this journey, there are ways for you to have a parent voice. And so we'll talk about the different groups at our school level that provide this platform for you. And so you can choose which ways you would like your voice to be heard. But know that we believe that when you reach out to our schools, when there are questions, we want you to come and approach us, because we want to be able to solve things. We want to partner up with you to make sure your student has everything they need to be successful at school. And we also know that there's been, this pandemic has hurt our community a lot. And so the last couple of months, or this past year, you probably saw a lot of resources that came your way. And so we'll be able to talk a little bit more about that. But it's our way also of partnering with you on meeting the needs also of your family, so that your student can come to school and focus on their learning. Of course, all of this really is not effective unless we have good ways of communication. So communication, it is key, and it's got to go both ways. You need to be connected with DCP, and then DCP needs to be able to send you crucial information. And so we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's dig right into communication. First of all, a lot of you have expressed in the past couple of years that text message has been the most effective way of communicating and reminding you of things. In fact, I think a lot of you sort of already expect that text, right, of that Zoom link coming straight to your phone. And it's so easy to just click on that link and join instead of trying to find that email. So we also want to be able to support you in sending you these information and short reminders via text. But you have to register your phone in order to get these text messages. So if you're not receiving them already, please, it's a very easy process. You get your smartphone out, pretend you're sending a text, right? So instead of a full phone number, you're going to type the number 67587. And then you're going to type in your message, the content, the word yes, and then you send it. That will register your phone into our system. So if you do happen to change phone numbers throughout your DCP stay, please remember every phone number would need to be registered this way in order to get the text messages. And they can be multiple numbers that get registered per student. So don't worry about that. So if you have mom, dad, if we have another family member that's also involved in the pickup or guardianship of your student, they can also register their phone number this way. Okay, so it's a very easy way. We also send a lot of emails, and it's important that we have your email. And if you're not receiving the emails, that you let your front office know, please, because we send a lot of resources as well. Another way that it is the easiest, and I know some parents have it or not. I know today's October 5th. And by now, if you're new to DCP, you should have your student's DCP school number saved on your phone. Why? Because it is that front office that's going to be able to answer your quick questions that you might have. For example, is today a minimum day? Best thing is to call the front office. And we'll also go over the website. It is another really quick resource to know how to navigate. So we'll talk about that in a minute. But if you haven't, I put here the phone numbers for each of our DCP schools. This is the front desk. If for some reason they're not answering, please know that it's probably because they're attending to our in-person students, right? So leave a message, somebody will get back to you. And we want to just thank you in advance for giving us a little bit of grace, giving your patience as we are navigating, while we're shuffling the different needs that arise from having students in person in our building, and also keeping all of our safe protocols. And so I know sometimes the phone doesn't get answered right away, but know that we are checking messages and somebody will get back to you. Also know that emails are also welcome. And let's go into, at this time, I want to help you navigate the DCP website a little bit, because this is such a great tool. And I want to highlight a couple of things. First, our COVID Safe tab. Our COVID Safe page is where you're going to find updates, anything pertaining to our safety protocols. You can go to this website. I know you've heard some of these things that we send out 2 weeks ago or more, last month. You also, here at the bottom, you'll have links on how to pre-register your student for our testing or volunteering testing that we have going on site. I want to say how amazing it is that we are able to offer this free COVID testing right there at the school site. Students don't have to go somewhere else. The burden is not on you. We have set this aside so that it's easier for our community, for you as a parent. But you do want to pre-register your student. When you register them, they'll give you like a code. It's usually a URL that you can send a picture to your student. They can have it on their phone. So every time they go testing, they just, that gets scanned. So we know that student was registered and has permission to get a COVID test. But know that we are doing this 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And I think some of our sites here have even gotten a few more days in the week. So please continue to check the messages that your school sends you to take advantage of these resources on site. So that under COVID is where you're going to find a lot of that COVID information. Resources to families during the pandemic were stored here. So that's the COVID Safe page. Also, we post here any updates that relate to state level announcements. So this is where you're going to find that information as well. The Parent Hub, if you have not already navigated this one, this is a quick one. For example, if you heard of a workshop, but you don't remember seeing the email, you can go on the Parent Hub, and it's an easy link, dcp.org/parents. Here you will find there is a org-wide calendar. So if you have multiple students at DCP, this is also a good one to see what's going on across the organization, across sites. And as you can see here, it has reminders on when that's happening, classes throughout the month. Also, we did an initiative. Here would be new videos that we posted and sent to you. So we recently sent this out about Google Classrooms, and hopefully that email, you received that email and are taking advantage of that. So you get a summary. We'll have, the upcoming workshops, and we'll have also a reminder of our food drive, as well as this is where you would also find past workshops, videos. For example, we have here our previous workshop on special education. Important documents are stored here as well. So please feel free to navigate this website and take advantage. I want to point out all the way at the bottom as well, and we'll talk about this later, at the bottom, in case there's short links to other information. For example, if you have a student that is interested in DCP, and it's also on the top, it's also at the bottom here. We have a special page just for enrollment. So our application is going to be opening up soon. So please begin spreading the word for next school year. And here we also have leadership. For example, if you want to know who at central office works, we have a list of all of our site leaders and executive teams. That's where you can find that, and their contact information, emails. Please note that all of our emails at DCP always has the first name initial and then the last name. So for me, it's M for Mercedes, and then Carvajal for my last name at dcp.org. At the bottom also, you can find, if you hit board, it also will tell you who our board of directors are. I know this information I was asked about a couple times. Please know this information is not at the top of the website. It's at the bottom under board. Okay. So that is some quick links for you to know. Under each school, please know you can go to your school, for example, DCP El Camino, and find your phone number, office hours here, and other important information such as our student and family guidebook, say the Safe to Return to In-Person Instruction guidebook. This will answer some great information regarding our safety protocols, as well as other COVID updates. We also have our past minutes on our school site council and ELAC meetings, and other very important documents for you to access. So they also have their site calendar. So feel free to navigate your school site. And on the top here, it has the bell schedule, a shortcut to Power School, and the instructional calendar, so you know when our breaks are coming up. Okay, so a lot you can find in our website. We really have spent a lot of time making this family friendly and informational. So please utilize it. It's easy to see it through your phone as well. And lastly, I want to tell you that every school also has a Facebook page. So for example, if your school is DCP Alum Rock High School, you will type that full name and then be able to find their Facebook page. Big reminder as well that Power School is the system we use to check your grades. So I'm sure most of you already have your account, but if you don't, it is important that you create an account. You will need a special code in order to create it. So that letter was sent out in the summer via mail, but if you don't have that in hand, you can always call your front office and get that so that you can create your account. As you can see here, you then will be able to look at grades, click on assignments when they were graded, etc. So very important that you have. Once you have created your account, you can download the app and then log in on the app and even put alerts if you like on the app so that you get an alert on your phone when a new assignment was graded for your student. So very helpful. That will help you to stay informed on your student's academic journey. All right. We're going to talk about a little bit on our parent voice in different groups that we have, how you can get involved. So the school site council, it is an elected body. So at this, actually, we're in the season right now where nomination ballots are going to go out via email and text. So you should be receiving this for both middle schools. They're going out tonight. And also for our ELAC, which is our English Language Advisory Committee. And these, if you want to, you are more than encouraged to nominate yourself or somebody that is a DCP parent and to be able to serve in this capacity. And for the school site council, it's usually a 2-year term. And the meetings happened most of the time are virtual, but your school site will be able to give you that information. Right now, I believe most of these meetings are being held virtual still. And I think that would be the plan for the remainder of the school year. But the commitment is usually 1 meeting per month for 1 hour. And there is no experience necessary. Anybody can be in the school site council. It has to be peer elections. So once we have a nomination for a couple of parents, there will be a ballot sent out to families and then they vote. And the ELAC is for parents who have a student who is an English learner. So that's the only restriction on that one for the ELAC. And again, they meet usually once a month, and there's different items that they go through, and no experience is necessary. For DLAC, this is a brand new group. It is our DCP ELAC. So org-wide, we're putting together this new group. So any elected ELAC representative can serve on the ELAC group. And so it is a higher level of involvement. We only meet quarterly, so about 3 or 4 meetings this year. And we're going to be looking at really assessing our English language services to our students and seeing how we're doing, and then making any recommendations in case some of those strategies are not working. So it's a great way for you to get involved, learn, and also be able to recommend real impact into our programming. Now, both meetings on top, School Site Council and ELAC, I do want to make it really clear, even if you're not an elected member, it is a public meeting. You have the right to attend any of these meetings. So if you know that your school's holding it, you can attend and you would be part of the public. Usually there is a section where the public can make comments during these meetings, and you can ask a question or suggest an item to be added into the agenda for the following month. But it is a public meeting, so anybody could attend. And then we have our monthly cafecitos. So I'm sure many of you have seen or attended. Those are directed by your principals, and usually they bring announcements and resources. So I think for this month, there was an emphasis on mental health services or suicide prevention, things like that. And but it's also a great platform for you to come with your questions that you want to ask your principal. A lot of times though, parents, some of those answers might not be available right away. So do keep that in mind. It's great to ask the questions, but do give your principals a little bit of time to get the answer back to you, especially if it's regarding something, because right now there's so many new things that keep coming up that are new, statewide, countywide. But it is a great space for you to come and ask questions during the monthly cafecitos with your principals. Other ways that you can get involved. So we have a special DCP Parent Coalition group. This is made out of parents, for parents. It is a leadership group. And I put there their brand new email. I'm sorry, it should not be at DCP. It should be at Gmail. Sorry about that. We're working on this one. Parents, right, and you are more, it's open to any DCP parent. So anybody can join. They usually meet twice a month and virtually. If you're interested, you can send them an email, as well as very soon, next week, I will be sending an involvement survey where you can indicate if you're interested in talking to somebody from the coalition about the group and joining this leadership group. The group, and I'll have more information on them in just a minute in their purpose statement. For DCP Alum Rock High School as well, they have a booster club. So this is unique to that high school, but it is a club that focuses on advancing the athletics department. So mainly they focus on fundraising or supporting the coaches in different sports. And so that is also a club run by parents, for parents. And then lastly, our DCP board meetings are also open to the public. And as I shared on the website, you know where to go now to find more information. If you ever want to see the agenda, agendas are always posted 72 hours before the meetings. And right now the meetings are happening once a month on a Tuesday. And it's usually 4:30 to 6:30. All right, I know I'm going fast. So this is the Parent Coalition's purpose statement. They are a group of parent leaders representing all 4 schools and close to and trying to represent the parents who are not able to be involved. They work to understand, support, and defend their DCP schools. They believe that it should be a partnership and commitment between schools and parents in order to get their students to college. They're also working towards making their DCP schools better and creating a space where parents are able to have a stronger voice. So it's a great group of parents. All right, so I know I've talked a little bit. I want to introduce to you guys our social work resource coordinator, Andrea Brodsky, who will tell us a little bit more about how is she coming in to support families at DCP.
Thank you, Mercedes. So hi, everyone. My name is Andrea Brodsky. I had the honors of interning here last year with DCP as a social work intern. And this year, I have the role of connecting family members with outside resources. So anything that you guys could think of, finding agencies where you could have individual therapy, family therapy, any connections that you could think of, dentists, healthcare. I'll be working closely with family members and doing so. Here on the screen, there are some resources where you could get some of these common needs that most family members are asked for. Also, as you guys see, the food distribution, Sacred Heart is one of the main providers that is also partnership with DCP. In order to help families better, we came up with the system of, well, I'll be sharing my screen really quick. Thank you, Mercedes. Let me do this one really quick. Sorry, so you guys could see what I'm talking about. I think it's a lot easier. So teachers and staff members have access to this referral form. It's a little bit different for teachers since they're asking a little bit more information. For this one, it's going to be just for parents. So it's a little bit more detailed. We're just going to be asking the student's name, the school. It's very important since we are working with both sites. At the moment, it's just me working at El Camino El Primero. Hopefully we will have someone that'll be working at Allen Rock Middle School and High School. It's just the common information, what grade level, your like the parents and guardian's name, the language you prefer to talk to, your phone number, email, all this good information. The most important part is actually is stating what kind of resource you are looking for. It's very helpful to know in advance, just so then when we do have that conversation, I'll be able to provide you with the information and make sure that I'm not wasting your time. I know everybody has a busy schedule, so the more detail parents could be during this forum, the better for us could be. So these are just some examples, like I stated before: vision, house support, family counseling. It also really depends if family members do have Medi-Cal or have other insurances. So right now, that's just the main 2 things to look out for. So sometimes stating that will be very helpful. And then also, if there has been a past service with an outside provider and you can't reach it, I'm helping parents going through that process as well. Right now, it's a lot of reconnecting through the mental health department, just as Mercedes has said. So that's like what we're doing at this moment, or what I'm doing at this moment. So yes, I don't know if you want to hold on for questions before, or I know this is like a very fast intro on it, but everybody should have access to these. I'm sure Mercedes will say where to find these, but in the case, you guys could always call the school. I think my information is posted on there too. If not, your students can also reach out. But this is just mainly for parents. So then you guys could also have access to it. And then once it gets sent, I'll go back to my email. And then from there, I'll be contacting you guys. And hopefully you will find a solution to the current problem. So the phone number that you guys see here, you guys could call or text between from 8 to 4. Those are just the common operation hours for school. There is my email, whichever one I'll respond as soon as possible. So yes, it's a lot of information, but I think as you guys start to see what is needed, all these all these questions could also like be answered. I don't know if you want to hold questions, Mercedes, till the end, or if anybody has any.
Yeah, we can pause and see if anybody has a question. Please feel free to unmute or raise your hand. We are working to putting this self-referral form on our parent hub. So that is coming.
Mhm.
Correct, Eric. Thank you for that question. He asked, is this a way to request support? Correct. That is a way to request support, especially coming from the parent, right? This is us trying to fill that gap. Where do parents go to get support when you're looking for a resource, or you're not quite sure, perhaps you know you need help, but you're not quite sure what resources you need. So this, Andrea, it would be the best person to kind of help you figure that out and what resources are out there in the community to support you. We know, and hopefully some of you are aware of our in-house services that we do have. So she also can help you decide if your student then needs to be connected with, for example, the school counselor, or if it's best to have outside service. So those kind of things and conversations, a lot of times it's hard to determine the support and help that you need. And so she will hold those conversations with you. She is also bilingual. So I know from parent to parent, sometimes it's hard for us to ask for help. But if you see somebody that it's a DCP parent and could use this support, please know that she is here to also, you can refer or have her contact, or have that family contact her. So please spread the word. All that to say is spread the word. She's here to help you. And it will start with a conversation.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that question. And please feel free to continue to use the chat to put your questions as we finish up here with a couple more things. Also, I wanted to point out under resources, as Andrea said, the Santa Clara County has a great website for families that have been impacted through COVID. And that is the most updated. So the county usually comes up with, if there's any additional funds, for example, they're supplementing families who have come up positive with COVID, for example. That's the website you want to kind of see how the county is supporting that. It has a lot of information. Actually, I wanted to click real quick because it's not just, for example, childcare. If you own a business, right? If you need to find a COVID-19 testing site, financial assistance, food assistance. So again, or immigrant services. Please know that, and I say this because again, if sometimes families might not feel comfortable talking with somebody, This is a resource out there to the community, but we highly encourage you to do have that conversation with somebody so that they can guide you and help you find the support that you need. I also wanted to highlight Sacred Heart Community Center because they have been a great partner throughout the pandemic with us. Many of you have constantly hear my drive-through food distribution every Friday, 9 to 11. But really do, if you could use their help, do sign up to be a Sacred Heart member. They usually have their holiday meals as well. They give out like, for example, a turkey meal for the Thanksgiving season. And then there's a toy drive, the gift toy drive in the holidays that really helps families, but you need to be a Sacred Heart member. So again, great resource to have. And then I highlighted here, if many of you guys already know, but food at school is free this year. This is thanks to the federal government that provided additional funding for all schools to offer the lunch services for free. So regardless if your student receives or qualifies or not for free or reduced lunch, students can get a meal at school for free this school year. So that is there for you. So if you ever forget to pack lunch, encourage them to go get at the cafeteria or do try it out. We really have tried to make it good choices for our students. Mariela has a good question. She says, to log into PowerSchool, we need our student user info, or do we create one for parents? I would recommend creating one for you, Mariela. That way you can put it on your phone and download the app and just have it easily accessible to you. Highly recommend that you create your own account. But yes, students have access to their grades as well through PowerSchool. So that is the way, but so that you're not depending on them, or if they're sharing their login, I guess with you would work. But I think it would be very beneficial for you to have it as well. And then for Sacred Heart, you do need to sign up in the sense that Sacred Heart does want you to register as a Sacred Heart member. And so if you're coming to the food drive distribution, you can come the first time and let them know you're not a member yet. They will not, they will give you your box of food the first time, but they will highly encourage you to become a member. Because as we know, a lot of these programs are grant funded, right? So they also need to have sort of know that they're helping the families. And so they highly want you to be registered. That's awesome that your student is enjoying the lunch. That's great. Please spread the word. Lastly, this is another great resource that I just wanted to highlight to you. And again, Andrea would be a great person to talk to you more in details about. But the Differential Response Program, it's a county program. It comes from the Behavioral Health Services and the Family and Children Department from the county. It is a program that you can be referred to. And as you can see here, or it doesn't say here, it does not say here, I'm sorry. But you began again with the conversation, and they have an assessment that they do to figure out what kind of support or interventions your family might need. The special thing about this is that it's completely free to families. The county has these additional funds to support family, and it's a prevention program. So it really wants to help you before things get more complicated, right? Before, for example, if your student is displaying some behaviors, or you're concerned about depression, or there's just some things that you're going through at home, and you think that the whole family, including parents, could benefit from counseling, for example, this would be the great program where they can assess your family and offer services for you as a parent or the family, as well as the students. So this exists, and we can help you get a referral Again, best way to how to get in contact with this is to get in contact with Andrea. And thank you, Sarai. She says this is a great program. Yes, we've heard amazing things from families that have been able to take advantage, and really know that these services are here to help you. This is not to shame anybody. It's hard to ask for help. But really, we're doing this for your students, right? I know that we do this for our kids. So I'm in that same boat, and the pandemic has left a lot of things unresolved for me. So please consider reaching out if you're going through something. And then finally, I want to end with what you guys are already doing, which is engaging virtually, right? We have tons of workshops, tons of ways that you can, well, not tons, but because it's a pandemic, but we have a lot of options for you to attend different virtual workshops. And so I want to let you know this is every year we have a Parent Academy celebration where based on your involvement in the school year, based on your attendance to these workshops, we celebrate you. And so this is a picture of last year, some of my parent volunteers at the food drive when we started. In May of 21, we celebrated parents for that school year. And so wanted to just share with you, what do we celebrate? We celebrate parents who, want to volunteer, parents who want to do training, education, parents who want to continue to grow as a leader, parents who want to advocate. So joining, for example, the DCP Parent Coalition, it's a great way to increase your advocacy skills. Leadership, school site council, ELAC, they will definitely give you more skills as a leader in getting to know our DCP schools. As you know, there are many opportunities to volunteer. We have the food drive, that is the main event. We also, in order to prep for the food drive, we also bag the food on Thursdays from 11:30 to 1:30. So if maybe you can't come at 9 to 11 to help pass out the food boxes, maybe Thursday works better. There are ways to volunteer. And again, you will be able to express interest when I send out the involvement survey next week. So thank you to all these parent volunteers. Another way, of course, is we provide partnerships and classes. Last year, we were able to have PK and FEI. This year, the FEI class has started, and parents are taking advantage of those virtual classes. But again, also we celebrate you coming to these workshops that we provide internally. And at the end, as you can see, you receive your certificate, you receive goodies like t-shirts and water bottles, or other goodies that really promote your DCP pride. So please get involved. Last year we had over 16 workshops, and this year we are set to beat that number. And so there will be many, many workshops. A lot of our workshops will be coming on Tuesdays, starting at 5, or sometimes at 5:30. So please look out for them. We are partnering with different departments, such as the English language department, the student services. We're bringing back some of the social emotional workshops that you guys really benefited from last year, as well as our college success team continues to provide to you our college going mindset workshops. And of course, I will have more presentations from our community resources, such as the public library, from the San Jose Police Department Crime Prevention Unit. I know some of you really like the social media workshop they did, etc. So we will continue to have these opportunities for parents. Every time you come to these workshops, you'll get to sign in, and then we track your information. that way, at the end of the school year, I know how many workshops you attended, and you'll be able to receive your certificate and prize. All right. So again, if you miss a workshop, remember you can go to dcp.org/parents to get the recordings. We have the FEI class running right now every Wednesday from 6 to 8. That class is mainly in Spanish, but they do have translation on site. So if you do want to come, and they can arrange for somebody to have translation. So do let me know. The next workshop is our special education department is having a training on how to read your IEP. And it's part 1, because we know that an IEP, individualized educational plan, can be really daunting, and we want you to feel really comfortable on how to read it. And we're going to go step by step. So that's coming up October 19th. All right, questions that you may have.